Welcome to the Deuce Cast Extra. We are back. This is the TV wing of the Deuce Cast Empire. So we are, of course, here to speak about episode 8 of What If Ultron won, which was fantastic. And then we will finish up our Visions conversation as well with episodes 6 through 9 of Star Wars Visions. Some interesting episodes in these last 4 for us to discuss. But first, Watcher Garrison, how are you doing this evening, sir?
I was supposed to watch Visions. Oh, no, just kidding. No,
You're
I
bad.
watched it. I'm doing okay.
Good. How's the studying and the school going?
It's going really well right now.
Good,
in fact, I made a bunch of kids on my class mad because they all walked in and they were like, "I got a 60 on this paper. I got a 70. I got an 80." I was like, "Oh, I got a 94."
Well, I mean,
man.
Speaking of sports talk, since Roth always comes in with the sports talks, FSU won a game. I mean,
yeah,
like wow,
we did walk off. We
that's
kicked
fantastic.
a field goal, went in, time expired.
I'm happy for you because Oregon lost, and it ruined our season basically. So
yeah,
I don't even want to talk about
it feels like Stanford always does that to you guys. Anyway, Roth.
There's a lot. We won't even talk about high school football.
An entire game was mismanaged.
Oh no,
it was worse than the other night. That was a bad at the end of the game. This was a bad the entire game. Anyway.
Good gracious. Dr. Earl, how are you doing this evening, sir?
I'm well. How are you, gentlemen?
Do you have any sports takes? Apparently, we're talking sports tonight.
Sports takes.
War Eagle.
Well, I mean, I'm an Auburn guy, so our quarterback woke up finally, and
War Eagle indeed.
Yeah. Yes. Nick did a little scramble, and
he should not have gotten that pass off.
No, probably not. Auburn luck, kind of.
And Roth always has to comment on your clothing for some reason.
Ski Patrol, baby.
Ski Patrol shirt.
Go down with the best.
Oh my gosh. And back again because Star Wars. We've got Nick from Podcast of the Wheels. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing fantastic. And as always, I'm honored to be with this august group of gentlemen hanging out and pretending like I know things I really don't know.
Well, that's the MO of the Deuce Cast in general, in all facets. So,
remember Attack of the Clones had Grievous in it?
Oh my God, why do you do that to me? Why do you that? That was all David's fault. He was leading the witness, is basically what I'm trying.
Ryfin woke up and chose violence today.
Yes, he did.
I like
Earl. To stop that.
Earl was there, man.
Earl was the voice of reason.
I was like, wait a minute, that's not right.
That's right.
You're both so wrong right now. I was exhausted that night, but I don't know.
Can I just say, Nick knows a lot. Don't let him fool you.
Yeah, that's right. He does.
He is August and September and October in his own right.
I love that. So first, I do want to dive into episode 8 of What If.
Yes.
We have got...
Amazing episode.
Really, I mean, this show in general has been an interesting show. I've liked quite a bit of the episodes. Some of them, hit or miss for me.
It's been up or down.
It's been up or down, but I'm guessing that they are bringing the heat these last 2 episodes is what I feel like is happening here. But as always, I did want to go over what our voice cast was for this particular episode. As always, and a very big part of the episode, Jeffrey Wright was there as the Watcher. Jeremy Renner back as Hawkeye, another pretty big part of the episode. Lake Bell, also a big part of the episode as Natasha Romanoff.
She's back because she's been doing her the whole show.
Yeah. Toby Jones reprising his role yet again in this series as Armin Zola. Ross Marquand did a good Ultron. Very good.
Now, it's interesting. I will cut in and say he did a voice for like a video game to do Ultron. He doing the Spader Ultron, and he does like a perfect impression. So people are wondering why he didn't just do that perfect impression if he was directed to do something slightly different or what, because he apparently can do like a perfect impression.
Have you ever seen the videos when he's on late night TV? He does impressions galore.
No, I haven't seen that.
He's one of those people that when you see somebody who does good impressions and does a bunch of them, you're just kind of blown away. Like, that's him, because, of course, I first discovered him in Walking Dead, as I think he was Aaron in The Walking Dead.
Right.
And then when I saw that last name, of course, I went down the Star Wars hole because his uncle is Richard Marquand.
I was wondering that. Okay, that's cool.
Wow.
And so, just trying to find out about him, and he's super nice, and I think he's British actually.
Yeah, it
or
is.
Maybe
Yeah,
is he British? Okay.
is,
Anyhow, but yeah, there's.
Oh
you
wait,
can look
no,
it up on
American.
YouTube. Okay,
he's American.
Well, you can look it up on YouTube, and there's clips of him doing all different kinds of impressions, and it's really, really fascinating. So, of course, we got him back a couple of years ago as Red Skull in Endgame.
Right.
Yeah.
He did a pretty good Hugo Weaving, I thought.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good impressionist.
And Roth, that's my headcanon currently, is that that because he's in the Vision body, maybe that's why the Ultron voice is different.
Oh, well, that could be. I'll throw that up since we're referencing it. But yeah, I mean, maybe his voice changed. Yeah, I mean, could be. Let's see, who else do we have? Oh, very briefly, we had Josh Keaton back as President Steve Rogers.
Yes.
Very briefly.
When we were getting punched through the multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. We had Mick Wingert back as Tony Stark.
Always. Getting killed as usual.
Yeah, yes, as usual. Alexandra Daniels back as Captain Marvel. And then at the very last scene of the show, Benedict Cumberbatch back as Doctor Strange.
Yep.
So yeah, good cast as always with this. I think that it's cool that they have some of them coming back. And those that didn't want to come back or weren't offered to come back, they've got some people doing pretty good voices for them. I thought this was a really cool episode in general. I worry that Gen Pop, are they even really watching MCU anymore at this point? But the multiverse is a lot to take in. Just the whole, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff going on.
The only movies that make money right now are Marvel movies, so I feel like
maybe they are.
Of the entertainment that's being watched, Marvel is being watched the most.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. They really, in the MCU proper, they haven't delved so far into the multiverse just yet.
No,
but that's coming. I think they're setting. They're doing the soft opening with things like Loki and What If. Because you're setting it up for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, you're setting it up for Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna get flung headlong into the MCU in pretty short order.
Yeah.
So we get some really cool scenes in this of Ultron winning, basically.
I thought he finished Thanos a little fast. But
that's what I was going to reference. That was interesting.
But for the pacing of the episode,
a shock scene.
Yeah, and for the pacing of the episode, I was like, whatever. It's.
Oh yeah, I mean, they were flying. It was going so fast. There was.
They had to get to so much stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a Raiders of the Lost Ark reference. Potentially.
Yeah.
Now the beginning was really cool. I thought
that is very much. Go on.
No, I just thought it was really cool when they had Clint and. Romanoff, Natasha, just sort of, and you didn't really, and like at one point you realize, wait a minute, Clint has a robotic arm, and
it
was kind of this like Soldiers of the Wasteland kind of, Ghost of the something land. What is it that?
Prisoners of the Ghostland. That's very much what it was like. Because it's all post-apocalyptic.
I mean, they were barely getting past all those Ultrons. I mean, it was.
And they had Hawkeye play the Black Widow role of sacrificing himself.
They swapped him.
Yeah,
that was cool.
I noticed that obviously, and I thought that would have worked better if they had done that in the MCU.
No,
but no. But then we wouldn't have gotten this Hawkeye series that we've got coming out.
And that great shot of him falling down into that sort of frozen, like almost like painting. I thought, oh, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of great animation.
Nick, you referenced Mustafar.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Is it Mustafar? Probably not, because they won't say that. But it is very much based on Mustafar.
And the pull shot that ended up on Twitter after that, with the castle in the background and the little circle highlight, looks like Vader's castle, or what we know Vader's castle. But it's also way back in the background, so it could be Lava New York for all we know.
Yeah.
See, Roth is with me. And look, we're also happy that she was able to get another 40 million out of Disney and work everything out.
I have more love for Florence Pugh than I have for ScarJo, but
I feel you there. But hey, she'll be back. She's happily employed again with Disney, making a Tower of Terror movie. I'm sure that's exactly what she needs to be doing with her time.
They need to get some of the original actors from Tower of Terror to do a
Steve
cameo.
Guttenberg.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
In the direct-to-video Tower of Terror movie. So let's flesh out what happened in this particular movie, episode. We've got it very much is. We've got Vision's body being used as Ultron. Basically, in the film, that's what Ultron was trying to do, but that didn't work out. So this is obviously the multiverse. That's the body.
The Nexus event was that he was able to take over that body.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
He's got the Mind Stone now by doing that.
He's got the Mind Stone and very quickly obtains the rest of the stones.
Very quickly, Thanos is done.
Thanos.
And because he has a, whatever, he has synthezoid body, he can use the stones without destroying his body like Thanos had happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he conquered the world, right? Or he conquered all those planets like Xandar.
Blew him
up. Conquered the universe.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, no, not the total, not all the universe, because he's you're right. Maybe that universe he was in, and then he went into the multiverse. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a scene where he almost looked like Galactus, where he was like,
that's 100% a reference to Galactus.
Yeah. Like but he's like universe
chomping down on it. Yeah.
So he hears the Watcher because there was complete silence. He had destroyed the universe that he was in.
He was like, "What am I going to do now? Read books?"
Right. He hears the very much like a Morgan Freeman type monologue.
It's like, Watcher, shut up.
Yeah.
He's like,
he is by himself.
He's by himself.
Yeah.
He's alone. And
it was almost self-parody in that.
Yeah, it was very much very much like that. I'm intrigued by the fact that he can go through any multiverse that he wants to. Using all the stones, I guess. That's not the power that we understood the stones could do.
He's so powerful with them. And he's so brilliant, though, so that he's obviously figured out a way. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, because Thanos didn't figure out a way to jump around in multiverses.
Well, and he did. And if he had, he probably would have burned his arm off.
This is true. Yeah, this is very true.
But you have a synthroid body.
Yeah.
Now, we do have a moment with Captain Marvel before he destroys the universe that he's in at that time, where we figure, okay, we've got Captain Marvel. She's the most powerful.
She's going to beat him.
She's going to beat him, and no, she fails miserably in a very violent way. She fails because he just blows everything up, basically, at that point.
That was Xandar, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the Kree live, my friend.
Yeah. So where do we think this is going? We saw the Watcher essentially have to escape. As
Guardians of the Multiverse. How many weeks do I have to say this, Mikey? It's a team up.
Well, the Guardians of the Multiverse. So he hasn't destroyed every single universe. Because he was distracted by chasing the Watcher.
You know the name of the next episode, right?
Yeah, I've got it down. I mean,
what if the Watcher broke his oath?
What if the Watcher broke his oath?
So he's going to fight. And Gamora's a big part of this somehow.
She is.
In episode 9,
The Thanos Gamora, yeah.
Was the Doctor Strange that showed up the evil Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't really tell if that's what they were going for.
Did he defeat the other one? No. Yeah. He
absorbed his other self.
Yeah, he absorbed everything. I don't know if that's, okay, let's see. Roth has a pretty good question here. Was the multiverse a thing though when Thanos was doing his thing? Yeah, I mean it's always been a thing.
Here's the thing. Here's how this is gonna get complex. Here's how I understood the multiverse from Loki. So there were always strands of different universes because Sylvie can't exist without that. But they all followed a similar path so that they didn't diverge enough to come into each other and create the multiversal war that happened between all the Kangs.
Yeah.
Now there's utter chaos. And we're seeing kind of the results of that in the MCU, in the MC multiverse, basically.
Nick, have you seen all these yet that we're talking about?
All the movies? Yeah, the only one you haven't seen is
but the Loki and
Loki.
Yeah. I've seen all of Loki. I've seen all of Black Widow. I mean, Winter Soldier and WandaVision. Yeah, I've seen all those.
Okay, I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, other than Shang-Chi and Black Widow, I'm up to speed.
Man, Shang-Chi, all you have to do is wait a month and it'll be there. And it's like November 12th and it's dropping on. I mean,
Shang-Chi?
Yeah, that's crazy. The way that 45-day window really flies by, because you're seeing that these movies are in the theaters for so long, right until that 45-day window's up, and they pull it and then drop it on whatever streaming.
They don't pull it. Some of those movies have still made millions off of.
Even after going on, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, because
Quiet Place made at least about 10 after the 45-day.
Earl, that can't be true. That there's people that don't have Disney Plus.
But Quiet Place was on Paramount Plus.
At least they have somebody else's login. I mean,
this is true. Yeah, I mean, there's I don't know of anybody that doesn't have access somehow to Disney Plus. I mean,
yeah.
Michael,
that's crazy.
There's a whole world out there that you don't know about.
7 billion people.
That's right. You're right. They've only got like 40 million subscribers or something like that.
No, they've got close to 100, I think.
Yeah, well, they're getting up there then.
Yeah.
They've got DVDs laying on a carpet in the middle of the street that says, "Here, buy DVD of Loki."
Disney Plus subscriber.
Sorry, I don't know what language that was, but
I didn't know. I wasn't going to say anything.
So, okay,
bootlegs is what I'm talking, baby.
Yeah, they're estimating between
116
million, but they've got 230 to 260 global.
By the time the service is 5 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow. Right now they have 116. They predict in 5 years they'll be at about 250, 260.
It may be above that because every time they've projected, it's gone way above that.
It's been above, yeah.
Although, didn't they say there was a bit of a slowdown recently? I thought Chapek said that, and the stock tanked for a couple days.
Chapek's an idiot. Well, so maybe it is slowing down because of terrible CEO work, but
No, I agree with you there. What are some of the caveats, like the smaller things in this episode that we didn't like? There was all the obvious stuff that was going on, but what's some of the smaller stuff that we could have missed? I know, Garrison, you probably caught some of that stuff.
It has been a week since I've seen this episode, basically.
Garrison, you're failing.
I know I'm failing you. Yeah, the Vision stuff is very fresh for me, but well, I don't know. I don't remember anything little that I really latched onto. I have a bunch of stuff that we could talk about for next week, but I did really just enjoy the episode. That's how. Yeah.
You had the Armin Zola still in that same.
Yeah,
I was about to talk about that.
Inside the green Ultrons,
but at a different site than was in the film, right? I mean,
so that was the Civil War site.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the where the extra soldiers were that Rogers thought what's his name was going to boot up.
Yeah.
And then he found out that was Zemo. Then he found out that wasn't his plan. He killed them all.
And this is obviously just Zola's consciousness uploaded into this computer.
And clearly he's at different sites, so he can live on.
He can live on. Yeah, he can bounce around and live on.
There was the scene in the warehouse where they were looking for the
and the Watcher was like, "I just want to
right there.
Don't give up. Don't give up."
Poor Watcher.
There was a Terminator reference that was fun.
Wait, I missed that.
Yeah.
Which one?
Carol calls Ultron as Skynet, and she talks about a killer robot that doesn't need a sequel.
Right.
And
they got to be careful with that stuff. I don't the references. They got to be careful with that stuff.
Yeah, when you start referencing things that your actors are in, that they're also in the MCU.
Are you saying they got to be careful because of potential lawsuits for using?
No, just I think the referencing stuff within a fictional universe,
to a point it can take you out of it.
The Raiders of the Lost Ark thing, I was like, okay, it's a Disney property. I get, kind of a Disney property. I get it.
The best Raiders of the Lost Ark reference in the MCU is the beginning of Captain America, the First Avenger, in my opinion. But that's the best way to handle it.
Oh, okay.
Because you have Joe Johnston doing the film,
right,
and talking about trinkets in the sand, which is also a conspiracy theory that that Hitler was doing at the time. So,
right.
The whole thing.
I think that this certainly sets up what's going to be a thrilling finale, season finale, not series finale.
No, because we got season 2. I don't even understand where that's going to go.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if they were even going to conclude this. For a while, I thought, are they just going to do a completely separate Gamora? But it doesn't sound like it. You're saying it's going to be a concluding finale.
They've got another 9-episode season kind of already. I'm sure that they've already worked on some of that. I mean, with animation, you have to work ahead quite a bit. So I think they're probably already done with some of those episodes at this point. But
maybe Ultron will escape.
Well, they already knew they were doing 2 seasons initially. Like, that was in the plans originally.
Right.
So I'm sure, they have done some work. They also bumped an episode off of season 1. Maybe that's been bumped into season 2. I don't know. If it has, they've definitely 100% done some work on it. I also know that
Go ahead.
I also know that they plan to do a little bit of Phase 4 stuff in season 2. So stuff that
I was going to say they've only got up to like Age of Ultron at this point. So they could have.
I mean, they kind of bounced all around. Yeah.
I guess the furthest they've gone, but there'll be other movies that they can do. They could do an Eternals episode, or
they could do a zombie sequel episode,
right? And there's other threads that they could continue.
Well, they've still got Killmonger to come back towards with
Yeah,
and that I think you're gonna see Killmonger tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's right.
I think he's gonna be a reluctant hero
tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. The finale is like tomorrow.
And I'm looking at the voice cast, and I don't know if this is like, you can pull it up by episode.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and just went to 1.9 just out of curiosity. And I don't know if this is specific to this or if this is kind of a generalized, but like, it's got Quill listed, it's got Pepper Potts listed, Ego, Bruce Banner.
Oh.
So we're getting some things that we haven't really seen according to this list.
Spoiler alert.
These other episodes. So
there's been a poster out for like months of Guardians of the Multiverse.
Yeah. I mean, I think that to Brian's point, I mean, I think there is certainly going to be some stuff that happens in the multiverse in Spider-Man and the Doctor Strange movies. I mean, you're definitely going to see all that stuff. So I think this is just sort of
I think some of these characters are going to be in Doctor Strange for sure.
I mean, some people think
specifically Haley Atwell.
Really?
Really?
Her schedule lines up really well to have filmed for this for Doctor Strange.
Interesting.
She was in London filming Mission Impossible at the same time, and they had a lot of shutdowns and stuff like that on Mission Impossible, while Doctor Strange actually had 0 shutdowns at the same time.
And, so are we thinking like, what do they call her?
Captain Carter.
Captain Carter, yeah, but it's basically Captain Britain.
Because Captain Britain is Braddock or whatever his name is.
That's right.
He's a real character
in the comics. Yeah,
he's like a family of Braddocks or something.
A family.
Well, and Roth had another comment in here, and this actually goes back to one of the overarching thoughts I had. He said, "Is season 2 going to just be standalone stories?" And of course, we don't really know that yet, based on what happens tomorrow. But that was my expectation for What If in general. Like, I thought this whole thing was just going to be standalone. I didn't expect it to be interconnected.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we got halfway through it and I was like, oh, like it's obviously that these things are going together. You know, I kind of think the first indication of it was the T'Challa Star-Lord episode was the one I think that first felt like, okay, there's more going on here than just, oh, what if Peggy was Captain America, or what if, whatever. So yeah, my expectation initially coming into it was that I thought these would just be one-off, standalone, fun, what you sit around and theorize with your friends at the pub when you're having a drink. Hey, wouldn't it have been funny if so-and-so? And I'm not mad that they're connected. I just wasn't expecting that to be a part of it.
I actually like that they're connected because there's been so many just down points in this show that I think we're going to end on a high note with kind of bringing everybody together and giving purpose to some of these episodes I didn't really care for.
Yeah, exactly. Fatmatic making the Braddock family, Matthew Braddock and brother to Psylocke. Oh, that's that's
an X-Men.
X-Men thing.
Yeah.
Or X people, whatever.
There's a comic book called Excalibur.
Yes.
And I think Captain
Britain
is.
Yes, I think he's a part of that.
Yeah. So it's
isn't the Black Knight part of Excalibur also?
No, maybe. I don't know.
That's a hard.
Kit Harington's character?
Dane Whitman is his name.
I mean, the Black Knight's been part of the Avengers.
Yes, he has.
And I think that he's going to be bigger. I think he's going to be a character that they bring out of Eternals and put in some other, because Kit Harington's not a guy you just.
He's going to be a big character. I think. I think he's going to be an Avenger.
Because he's not part of Eternals. He's sort of like this other dude that's just helping out the Eternals in this movie or whatever, which apparently we got confirmation that some of it takes place in the past and some of it takes place in the present.
Yeah, of course. They're like 5,000 years.
5,000 years or whatever, which is going to be interesting. I mean, we are going to be doing, which is a bit odd for us on the TV wing, but so we don't take so many breaks. We are going to be doing an Eternals episode at some point of Extra.
Extra
spoiler free.
That's a month from now, by the way. 30 days from now, Eternals comes out.
Crazy. All right. Well, anything else on What If before we jump into these Visions episodes?
I'm excited about next week.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it
tomorrow.
I'm excited about tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. And for us to discuss it next week. Yeah, because I think it's going to tie together good.
Hyper specific. I mean, we're talking,
to discuss it next week.
5 hours, 4.5, something like that. Yeah, it's not that far away.
So yeah, I mean, to Brian's point, I mean, the Watcher is becoming, a bigger deal than we thought he necessarily would. It's so much so that he and Doctor Strange are working together in tomorrow's episode, I guess.
Yep.
So that's a good observation for sure.
I guess so the thing I'm not sure about is, so this is my last observation. I know Doctor Strange, the evil Doctor Strange collapsed himself down in one of the multiverses, right?
He destroyed his universe. He broke reality trying to bring back his girlfriend, and he created kind of a shield around himself to protect himself.
So that's where the Watcher has gone to, right?
Yes.
Because I guess maybe if Ultron showed up there, he would just look around and go, well, this is a destroyed universe. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
They released a clip from the episode that's coming out tomorrow, which is the Watcher recruiting Party Thor.
That'll go over well.
Yeah. It's a little funny. So he's going to be going around to all these different places, and they're all getting taken over by Ultron, it looks like. So.
Yeah, I mean, Ultron's not a dude that just chills. He's going to try and take over everything. I mean, he's not going to rest on his
Ultron,
laurels.
I've come to bargain.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Use the time stone.
Oh yeah, Roth. That he could. Is Doctor Strange going to try and psychokinesis?
Absorb his power.
Yeah, or
photosynthesis.
Why did I say psychokinesis? I don't know why I said that. My brain read something completely different than what word was written. Well, cool. Yeah, no, I'm very excited about it. I'm hoping for big things with that, and I hope it's maybe a little longer than 22 minutes or whatever. We'll see.
Oh, they've all been 30.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I think I've heard rumors this will be a longer episode. But.
I hope it is.
Yeah, I'm for that.
Not too long, but a little longer.
Speaking of short episodes, we will finish off these with this this Vision series, which overall phenomenal.
Great.
I'll say this: I was certainly more invested in the first 5 episodes than I think these last 4.
I agree, Mikey.
I mean, they're good, but I don't know.
The Elder,
some of these are strong,
but
yeah. So episode 6, which was another one that Science Saru did, which the other episode that studio did was well, I thought I had it written down. Oh, they did episode 9 also. So 6 and 9 were this studio called Science Saru, which the only thing that I recognized, they did 1 episode of Adventure Time. As far as American, now they did a bunch of stuff over in Japan, obviously, but as far as what Americans would recognize, they did 1 episode of Adventure Time. And the name of the episode they did of Visions is, like Earl's name, TOB1, which is really on the nose with the name.
R1.
T-O-B, yeah, E-R, or Ear One. No.
Ear One.
A couple quick observations that I made, and then we can dive into it a little bit. Of course, we had another "You've Got a Bad Feeling About This." The little robot says it, and TOB1 repeats it back. And then we also get "I am one with the Force is with me."
Yes,
so I dug that quite a bit.
That was awesome.
Chirrut Imwe reference there, so that was always fun. I was okay with this. The animation is not a style I normally dig.
He kind of reminds me of like Astro Boy or something.
Yes,
I wrote down Pinocchio meets Astro Boy.
Yeah, very much like that. Not necessarily anything that I dig. And this one was way off from what we would necessarily understand as possible in the Star Wars universe. That being a droid, a droid being able to wield the Force or utilize the Force in any way. But it was cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Nick, anything in particular that you noticed in this episode that caught your eye?
Yeah, I mean, there were several things that stood out. Like I said, I thought my first note was Pinocchio meets Astro Boy. Just had a very, I'm a real boy, and dreams. He dreams of being a real boy Jedi, and I love, visually. I agree. There, that bubbly, squeaky walk. That whole thing was not necessarily. I don't know why I thought it wasn't my thing. I don't know if I thought I was too old, it was too childish, whatever it was. Where my mind went when I saw it. But at the same time, like the dreams he have, like I thought that was visually really neat, and the drawings on his wall in his room, like there were a lot of elements of it that I thought stylistically I actually really did enjoy. So there was kind of a juxtaposition there that I don't know if it was intentional or not. I wrote down the bad feeling about this. One of the things that the dad says to him when he's talking about you were dreaming about being a Jedi again, he tells him adventure and excitement. He said a Jedi doesn't crave these things, which is a very Yoda.
Yes, it is.
He did have
Jedi
that
craves not these things. That was kind of a nod. I felt like the ship that he finds in the basement, that's a T-16 Skyhopper, which is the ship that Luke is holding while he's giving the oil bath to 3PO and R2 in Star Wars. One of the things I thought was neat about this, and I don't know if because when I watched it the very first time, I may have been multitasking, I may have been whatever, but the way it was done the first time, I didn't notice that the dad didn't have arms until it was said at the end.
I didn't either.
I thought that was such a neat, like he's in the chair, he's working, and the little arms are coming out of the chair and doing the whatever. But then he's standing there, and you realize there's no arms there, and it said, I think the Sith Master says it when he shows up, or the Inquisitor. So that was another neat thing. We get an Inquisitor, which is something that's very Rebels.
That's very much a Rebels thing.
I don't know if we've gotten any Inquisitors by name in any of these other episodes. So that was a new wrinkle from Star Wars that plugged into it. And then the other note that I wrote down was I said Mega Man finale, because when the droid climbs on his back, it had a very Mega Man video game feel. But I really liked it a lot more upon rewatch. And I think honestly, because it hits me in the emotional parent feels of, this creator who had a love for this creation, who sacrifices himself, go and hide, where did he go? It hit me in the parent button. But it was a lot of fun. Like it was, and again, I think for it to be so far outside, like you said, so far outside of what is expected for Star Wars. Yeah, that's really what I expect from these Visions things in the first place, is to go.
Yeah, don't follow the rules that are established. Break out of the rules that are established. Yeah, and something that I really liked was the droids banding together. That's sort of a theme that we have seen in Star Wars from time to time. In Solo, a little bit. There was, on Kessel. No, not Kessel. Whatever the spice planet is.
Kessel.
Yeah, that was Kessel. They have some droids trying to band together, work together, that type of thing. So, I dug that type of thing. Earl, what were you going to say?
Oh, I this wasn't my favorite episode, but I really like the art. Like I thought it was, it felt like a Fantastic Planet sort of Mobius. If you watch those extras, which I know Nick watched, even though it's a Japanese company, they let this French guy,
Spanish guy.
Spanish guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it had this sort of
Mm-hmm.
more European look to it. And the art, I thought the art was pretty neat, even though I can understand what you're saying about it seems childish. And
well, there was a show I watched that was broadcast on Nickelodeon, but was not. I think it was from Europe, called Belle and Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
That was very similar animation, like that, and it does have that like more European feel to it than like what is it, Asterix and Obelix or whatever, like that.
Yeah, it's got that kind of vibe.
Kind of vibe to it. So it was interesting to see that same studio, because episode 9 that they did,
it's totally different.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to it. But
anyway, I liked it. I agree with everything you guys are saying about it, but
I did think that the lightsaber stuff was really good in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
The fight scenes were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in all of these episodes, these last 4, there were some really good fight scenes in all of these last 4 episodes.
And that was the other thing I was going to highlight, which is we see it in this one. We see it in The Village Bride. We see it in The Duel. I think we see it in Ninth Jedi. But you see what to me is a very classic samurai story sword fight, which is 2 fighters at a distance.
Yeah.
Kind of the build up, and then all of a sudden this one's on the other side and this one collapses.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't get sword fight. You get the quick motion and the superior swordsman wins and the other one falls, which is very stylistic and very intentional. And so we get that again in this one when he gets his Mega Man power pack from the little droid.
Yeah.
And it kind of boosts him and he shoots right through. And then all of a sudden the bad guy collapses and he's won. And to me, that has that, and again, for old samurai movies, Kurosawa, things of that era, it was all about the jump cut. It was the way to, show speed covered or distance covered over speed. Jump cut, show up here. But even something, of course, we know because of who Lucas is, because of who, and this is, follow me as I trace this down, as we know who Filoni is, in Rebels, the Maul Obi-Wan fight is a fight of efficiency. It's not a long, drawn-out sword fight. It's also a very samurai, 3 hits and it's over kind of sword fight, which also, to me, is a stylistic choice. And it's also partially a character choice because Obi-Wan, that was always his deal. It was more about being efficient and getting it done. We see that when he fights Vader on the Death Star, intentional, efficient choices. But yeah, the sword fight in this rung true to me, along with some of those other ones being very samurai, quick cut, and it's over. Which I like. I think that's fun.
I'm glad you said that about the New Hope fight. I know there's a video out there of like, what if they fought, I just don't care for that.
No, I don't either.
I think that was intentional. And again, one day when Ryfin watches Rebels and is all caught up, he'll know even more
before Kenobi. Before Kenobi. Because I know Inquisitors are in Kenobi.
Yeah, somebody else made a promise about before a movie or a show came out. Yeah, see how that worked out.
Yeah, so the Sopranos, watch that did not really happen. Yes,
I think Sopranos is more daunting than Rebels, but
it might be fair.
Sopranos is 100 episodes, no, 86 episodes.
86.
Yeah,
and like an hour.
Yeah, that's
and 45, 50 minutes.
No, Nick, you're wrong about that. They are some of them are like a full hour. Like these are 60-minute episodes. So I was thinking to myself, Nick promised me they were only 45 minutes long an episode. That is not true.
Look, you try to get people there however you can. What can I say?
Yeah, deceit is a one way, but no. So yeah, let's move on to episode 7 then. This was another one that Trigger did. Now Trigger did episode 3, the twins. So
that's right.
You can track that a little bit, and that studio did something called Kill la Kill and Little Witch Academia, which I've heard of that Little Witch Academia before, but this one clocked in at 16 minutes. Just some quick notes I wrote down that I thought were interesting is the concept that they've delved in a little bit in a way of this the Jedi patrolling the Outer Rim. I think that's in and of itself a cool concept. And this seems like this is very far in the future because it's hundreds of years since the Sith were destroyed, is one of the comments that is made in this episode. So that's
Wouldn't
pretty
it be in the past. Didn't they assume that?
Well, I guess it's whatever. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just saying
it's in our past.
It's in our past. Yeah.
It's a long time
but
ago.
as far as in the
ago.
Star Wars universe, hundreds of years since the Sith were destroyed, would have been.
I was thinking though when I thought the Sith were kind of reborn. Now, again, I haven't read all the books and everything, but Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, were the Sith still an entity?
They thought. I see what you're saying now.
I was thinking
thought the Sith were gone. I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
So this would have been after the High Republic era. Now we don't know.
I'm not saying I know where this is. I was just saying.
No. You're on the right track because the Acolyte. We have no idea what the Acolyte's going to be about, but it's about evil. There's the
end of the High Republic, isn't it?
Yeah, High Republic. It's the end of the High Republic. The Sith. We don't know what the Sith are doing, but yeah, you're right. I mean, maybe this isn't what I'm thinking. Which
do not ask me Star Wars timeline stuff.
Yeah,
no, I'm probably wrong in it, so don't.
Well, and again, with all of these, it's meant to be very grain of salt as far as timeline goes and all of that.
And we do get, of course, another "I've got a bad feeling about this" reference.
Yes, of course.
But this one
feels like an obligation at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
In the contract.
Check it off the list.
So they're going through hyperspace. You've got a Padawan and a Jedi sort of just conversing and having some unique conversation. The Jedi feels something like a ripple in the Force. And so they immediately stop the ship and they go to this planet in the Outer Rim that they sound like they're familiar with because there's a lot of comment.
The
Jedi
calls it out by name.
Yeah, he calls it out by name, and then he also says these are timid people.
He talks about the monsters, the creatures.
These are timid people. Let me. You stay behind. Let me go talk to them. And then he was surprised that his Padawan was able to connect with the children of the planet so quickly, just in an interesting way.
But then he made the stupid horror movie mistake,
which is.
Well, let's split up and go opposite ways and
right. Yeah, exactly.
And breaking news, according to IMDb Trivia, which IMDb Trivia can be taken at its own grain of salt,
of course,
says that it takes place before the Phantom Menace. So in that timeline, the understanding could be that the Sith are destroyed, but you get this rebirth of it in the Phantom Menace with Palpatine. Maul and what's going on. So as
always, Earl is right about Star Wars, and I'm wrong. So I should know too.
Yeah, and the guy doesn't even
another notch on the belt.
Yeah,
the guy doesn't even seem to be calling himself a Sith. The guy that we'll get to, but
no, I mean, that was interesting. Like he didn't want to be labeled as a Sith.
Yeah,
which there's been a lot of that in Visions where there's like this gray area. You know, the Sith
does good.
You've got a Sith who does good in one. You've got this Sith who doesn't even want to be labeled because he comment something. They made mistakes or something. He made some comment about that.
I think he was like they were holding themselves back or something.
He wanted to be even more evil than the Sith that were around. He basically thought of them as abject failures. Yeah. And this is a guy that's been around a while.
The Elder.
He is the Elder. He's got some cool samurai looking lightsabers. I mean, very much look like they look. They look short too. Though. Yeah, they look.
Who did the voice in English?
Yep.
Who's that? I didn't look at that actually.
I'll let Nick.
It's a good one. James Hong.
Oh, that is cool. Actor. Now, who was the Jedi's? The Jedi's
David
voice?
Harbour.
Yeah, I totally was like, that sounds just like David
We're talking
Harbour.
about like 90-year-old James Hong.
92-year-old James Hong, to be exact.
Okay, if you watch the extra, they show him recording.
And it's fun because he's doing his hands, kind of trying to match this. while they're like struggling against each other.
Yeah,
That's a good one. In fact, to Earl's point, I rewatched the episode today, getting ready, and was just kind of in the middle of the road about it. What made me love it was the extras featurette for this particular episode, like watching James Hong, hearing that it was David Harbour, and then also, and we talked about this last week, and I got it wrong, so I'll take the loss on this. The director, Masahiko Atsuka, he was the one who decided that this short might be the last thing that he does.
Same studio, though.
Star Wars, yeah, same studio, right?
Trigger, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess technically that would be right. But that was the other thing they said, too, was what they wanted to do with this one versus the twins was showed the two extremes of what they do. They kind of highlighted intentionally because I think, didn't they say, Earl, that the studio was created by two guys? And so kind of like the elder is this guy and the twins was more the style of the other guy.
Where it's just real frenetic. And
yeah, it was the chance to show both, both of them show off what they do.
Yeah, because this was a much more subdued type of anime. Like this wasn't like the normal anime that you're necessarily would equate
realistic sort of
anime to. Yeah, I mean, in a way,
the whole episode had a slowed down pace to it.
Very much a slowed down pace.
Mainstream anime that goes mainstream in America to me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, totally.
I will say this one, I thought that the villain was like creepy, and I don't know why. I just got really nervous for the kid.
I thought he died. I was like, wow, that's a strong
that's
choice.
right. And when that happened, I was like, did they just go there? I was like,
I was like, I'm totally down for that choice if they're doing that.
Yeah.
But then I liked what they did. So.
Oh, I didn't know this. Roth with some knowledge here. Hong was in Rebels 2, and he was actually in one of the Utapau Kyber Crystal unfinished animatics that was released years ago. Interesting. I remember that animatic. I watched that on StarWars.com. That was like the only way you could watch it, which was really clunky, but I remember watching that.
Do you know? I know who now. James Hong in Rebels was As Morgan, and As Morgan was the really short, fat, dumpy pig farmer guy that kept showing up and causing problems. The big inflating pigs and that whatever. And he was the real squat, wormy with the kind of hunched in shoulders.
The puffer pig guy. Okay.
Yeah, the puffer pig guy. That's it. As Morgan,
him.
that was who James Hong.
Oh, right. And hey, it's not our fault you haven't watched Rebels. Man.
This is my favorite.
That's right.
This is my favorite of the 4 episodes we're covering right now, personally.
Okay. Really? Okay. That's cool.
Which one? The next one?
No, this one right here.
The Elder.
It's one of my favorites too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Puffer Pig, not in this episode. Yeah, that's a Rebel Force Radio reference there. But episode 8, unless you guys have anything about episode 7 you want to cover any further.
Well, I do love that the way he they were like sort of in this struggle, and then he dropped his lightsaber and
very much like Rey did in Last Jedi. That was a cool move. I
thought it was interesting. The guy blew up his ship. Like he wouldn't let them.
Oh yeah.
Like to get rid of any Sith evidence.
That was cool.
So anyway, that's the last part.
No, you're right. That's a good thing to point out. Episode 8, which is the Lop and Ocho episode, was done by Geno Studio, and I didn't know any of the stuff that they had done. The one thing that they won some awards for was Golden Kumai, which no idea, not familiar, obviously, but it won some awards, so I wanted to at least mention it. Now, this one was on the long side. This may have been, it was 20 minutes long. That's one of the longest episodes, actually, looking through this. Episode 5, obviously, The Ninth Jedi was 22 minutes, so this is the second longest. I don't think it felt it, though.
No.
I like this one quite a bit. I don't know why. I don't know why I like this one a lot. But
what you got there?
Jackson.
He's got
Jackson.
We have Jackson because Lop is a Leppy. And she
so that's what I was.
As Jackson, correct?
Did they ever say that in the episode that
that's
she was a
extra thing?
I don't think they said it in the episode, but it's in the extra. In the director feature, they do say that she's a Leppy.
I didn't watch the extra, but someone posted that on my timeline.
So I mean, the assumption being, I was like, there can't be two different rabbit species in the Star Wars universe, so this must be a Leppy. But they never said it in the episode. But I'm glad to hear.
They did not.
Yeah, I agree, Jacob. Who let a furry make a Star Wars episode? I don't. Yeah.
Oh, come on, no. Hey, dude. Jackson has been in the Star Wars universe longer than any.
Mike, you think I don't know about Marvel Star Wars? We have one of the biggest Marvel Star Wars fans in the house. Right now.
I know. Trust me. I hear your dad talking about Marvel Star Wars a lot, so I know.
IMDb trivia tells us that this takes place after Bad Batch season 1.
Oh wow!
Whoa.
In the timeline. How that makes sense, I don't know. But that's what.
There was Hunter.
That does make sense actually, because that's at a time that the Empire is trying to push their will on a bunch of planets. So that does kind of make sense.
You could just really say in between
Empire expansion
3 and 4.
Yeah. You could say it between episodes
for sure.
But I dug this because we got a first part and then a 7 years later thing. So I liked the fact that we get the Empire.
They had to set up the family.
Right. And the Empire brought these slaves to this planet. So they brought all these Leppy that they were using for slave labor to this planet that they were trying to industrialize, basically. And it kind of ruined the planet and ruined the people on the planet. And
which there's also precedent for both in new canon and legend stuff, as far as the Empire mining for resources,
totally,
using and leaving and that kind of thing. So that was a good. It made it feel connected in the story, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I totally felt that was within the realm of what we know of what the Empire did. So I dug that they were sticking kind of close to canon in that case. But I mean, Fetmatic sounds like Corellia. Totally.
And
I mean,
that was one of the notes I had in the speeder when Lop and Ocho are having the conversation after the thing with the dad, right before they meet the Empire on the bridge. And Lop finds out that Ocho was trying to negotiate for them with that. As they're riding along in that open top speeder, I thought, this is like Solo. This is like when they're on Corellia in Solo. It very much felt like that. So I agree with Fetmatic. It definitely felt that way.
So the one thing that I couldn't quite connect the dots on, I guess, with this story is why Ocho so easily fell towards the Empire.
There's a lot of missing context there.
Now, again, we didn't see, what went down in those 7 years.
Yeah, a lot of missing context.
Yeah, exactly. It just could have been one of those things that she felt like she was doing the right thing, as happens a lot in the Star Wars universe. Is you've got a person that makes some wrong decisions based upon her convictions, but
she seemed to understand that the Empire had great power, and through that great power, they would be able to do the things that they wanted to do.
Right.
But it was for the wrong reasons, obviously.
Yeah, it felt like a misguided idealism to say, it's young versus old, it's kid versus parent. I know what the future is going to be like. You're the old one, you're on the way out. But it was that misguided idealism of, look what the Empire can do. They're going to help us. They're going to this. They're going to that.
Right.
And the dad is the one who's been through it before. And when it's not what you think it is, this isn't going to go the way you think, to quote Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. And so it's wisdom versus youthful idealism is a lot of what I read out of that. Because you're right. We don't get the details of why she feels so strongly in that way. But the other thing that I loved was it took, I guess, the non-traditional route of pitting the biological daughter versus the father, where the adopted daughter is, on the father's side. And I loved, the dynamic that created.
The found family.
And Ross said my buzzword, everybody drink, found family, because I could write a dissertation about found family in Star Wars. And everything I love about Star Wars is about found family. And the dad who didn't want to adopt Lop, and the daughter talked him into it. Right. And ultimately he gives her the sacred saber, and she protects him. And she protects him. Like, it truly is. I really like this episode a lot. And it was because of those emotional themes that ran throughout it.
And one thing that I wrote down just as a quick note that I felt very intentionally in this episode is they peppered it with the concept in Japanese culture of dishonoring the family and I liked that little bit of like, oh, this is at least from a very Western culture mindset. This is what we know of Japan. Their family is very important in this way, and they have this honor versus dishonor. What is the whole seppuku thing where they can you have dishonored the family. But just as far as me being a dumb Westerner, these are the things that we know that we've seen about Japanese culture that we really don't understand how deep it truly is, but they're peppering it in the episode, and I thought that was cool.
Harry Carey is also another term.
Yeah, I like seppuku. Sounds cooler. I don't know.
What's the Star Trek version of that? There was a Klingon.
Oh gosh, what is the Star Trek? Oh, dude, I can't.
You guys are
Star Trek. Yeah, I can't delve into Star Trek too much. I'm sure that's another property that Fatmatic knows well, so maybe he'll come in the chat with that in a minute. But
I'm so glad. No, never mind. I'm just
But like you said, the found family concept of the father, even though I'm sure it was difficult for him to do, presenting the family sword to Lop in an act of basically a little bit of desperation, but he didn't really have a choice in this case. But at the same time, I don't think that I think he felt as if she was as much his daughter as Ocho, which is fun, which is cool to see the progression there, because when she was a kid, he wanted nothing to do with her. And he was like, we don't have the resources. We can't take on another person. And, at the time, Ocho was like insisting, as little kids do that don't understand that type of thing.
Yeah. They don't have to worry about the stress.
They don't have to worry about that type of thing. So, we can help this person who is a slave for the Empire. We can help her out of that situation very easily. Why not? It's a no-brainer. We need to do this, Dad. And of course, I love the story that his face tells. He's got the scar, like the eye. I mean, I want to know all about that guy's background, because he's obviously got some stories to tell there. So yeah, I connected with this episode quite a bit more than I thought I would.
Yeah,
there was something really in the extra about this being like the Yakuza. There was some like
okay. I didn't make it to the extra for this one.
Okay, there was I didn't. I mean, they were just saying like that the dad was almost like a gangster kind of guy level, but he was like a good guy. But then when the Empire comes in, anyway, he's sort of changed his ways. I don't know. Yeah, he's kind of a businessman in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to watch it again. They did focus on that family concept, though, the way that droid would show the picture of the family.
Yep, until the droid got cut down.
Yeah. Yeah, that was another thing that was interesting, is why was that droid hanging around Lop like that? That was
like
weird.
Her pet, right?
Like, why would she have that droid?
Great transition, though. When they're doing the 7 years later and they use the droid taking the picture and having it protecting later.
That was cool. That was very cool.
We want to talk about whatever the droid was called. Was it like, what was it? Like Dio?
I can't remember.
There were a lot of little droid buddies running around.
I can't remember what this.
Visions is rife with droids.
Yeah.
I think again, and anime does this so well in general. Like with their villains, they make them look unique to.
Yes.
Well, in this case, the Star Wars universe, it's like he's got that like the green, very specific green tinting, like makeup looking thing. I mean, he was a cool looking villain, and immediately you could tell he was a slimy person. It was a neat. I liked that animation style quite a bit in this episode, and I think if this is the same studio. Oh no, this is the first we had seen Geno Studio. This is the only episode that they did.
Wow.
So that's cool.
Few studios got 2 episodes, so
yeah. This is only got 1 episode, but
maybe this is a case of them combining 2 episodes, like because it's 20 minutes.
Yeah, and this is another one where I've seen on social media a lot of people would love to see the story with these characters again.
Yeah, this is one I'd like to see continue.
A very popular episode. I think a lot of it has to do with Alepi being in it, but I mean, there's that underground Lepi organ.
I mean, I guess I would watch it. I'm not clamoring for it.
This one was not my favorite, but it's
I don't know why I liked it. I mean, I think there was a lot of really good storytelling in it. Like, despite any issues, I think Roth had mentioned he didn't really dig the animation. I just thought the story was really good in this one, and I think that there's potential. There's potential to continue with a story when they do the season 2 that they'll probably announce on the 12th. I'm guessing. I don't know when they're going to announce it, but
Disney
I'm sure
Plus
we're going to
get
Disney Plus Day. Yeah, I think we're going to get
Fandom coming up soon.
And we got Fandom, DC Fandom, exactly. Anything else on this one, guys, before we jump to the next one? Well, let us finish then with an interesting choice for the final episode. Not that I think that they were intentionally doing this, but
this might be my least favorite episode.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I mean, and this was another one that Science Saru did, which we, just saw them, in episode 6. They did TOB1 and very different animation in Akakiri.
I liked Toby's animation. I actually didn't like this animation.
It was really different for it to be the same studio. Looked really, really different.
Looked lopsided in the frame and stuff.
It was all intentional, I think. I think it was very intentional, but it was
off. Oh yeah,
and the two characters were the two comic relief characters.
That's a very Japanese.
Well, that is very Hidden Fortress, actually.
Yes, and that's what this was a big nod to Hidden Fortress. In this episode.
I didn't know that, but that actually makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Oh, was that in the extras? I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen Hidden Fortress, and it's very.
And they're supposed to represent
Star Wars.
3PO and R2D2.
Yes. Oh,
okay. A short one and a tall one.
They're the idiots.
Yeah.
But you see the movie through their eyes, and that's what you're.
Yeah. And in this, talking about starting up top with voice cast.
Yeah.
We have Henry Golding in this.
Oh.
Snake Eyes.
And this is also George Takei's episode.
Yeah, he's one of the voices.
He's one of the voices. And then the other kind of standout one that I recognized was Lorraine Toussaint, who was in Orange is the New Black, was in Selma as Amelia Boynton.
Yeah.
She's been in several things and is a big name actress. But Henry Golding and George Takei were the two that stood out for me as being in this one.
I rewatched it. I fell asleep the first time.
Oh my!
Yeah, this one didn't move the needle for me, and I think we kind of all are in agreement.
So, well, I'll say this:
I rewatched it, liked it better though. I will say.
Yeah, the second time I watched it, I did like it a little bit better because it shows what I think often we forget, that the call to the dark side is an easy path and much easier, I think, in desperate situations, where in this case, this Sith is coming to this guy and saying, "Let me help you revive your sister," or what. I don't know if they were siblings or girlfriend. Yeah, girlfriend. And
significant other.
Yes, exactly. And they use a power that we really only verbally heard of in the prequels. Now, we did get to see it quite a bit in the sequel trilogy, this reviving someone that's dead.
Something quite unnatural.
Yeah, something quite unnatural. And then, of course, we saw that at least a healing technique in The Mandalorian. We saw Grogu utilize that. I hope that they don't do that too often in the Star Wars universe. I don't like this concept of reviving someone so easily that was dead.
No one's ever really gone, Michael.
At least there's consequences, because if they do it too much, you would sacrifice yourself.
Oh, I didn't catch this. I guess I need to watch these episodes a little bit deeper.
That's right. It was
no idea that the Sith
they said that. It was in the dialogue.
I didn't.
It was the king's aunt or the king's sister.
Okay.
Yeah. Or something.
Okay. Well,
princesses. Yeah, that's right.
Interesting. So apparently there's some more stuff in this episode than I caught before. But
he was having visions of murdering his I guess lover.
Yeah, that head
ultimately what it was.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
And he'd have this,
but sort of
the
visions don't have to be real.
Huh?
They don't have to be real. The visions don't have to happen.
I like that. I like that it went dark like that. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I thought Henry Golding did a really good job in that role too. But
yeah.
I didn't care for the art.
There was an anime style in this with at the beginning. I don't know why, but and you guys maybe have never seen this movie Wizards.
Oh, I've seen it.
Old Ralph Bashki.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Sci-fi, sort of like from the 70s. So it had that vibe to me.
Yeah, it did. You're right.
Little creatures they were riding, and so it was. I don't know.
I can tell you, there's no rotoscoping in this movie. I don't know.
None.
No, I don't know if isn't that what Bakshi did pretty much?
He did a lot of rotoscoping.
Yeah, he did a lot of rotoscoping. Yeah,
I think there was some rotoscoping in the first one of the visions a little bit.
If not, at least made to look like that for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I think overall, first and foremost, it's awesome that they did this series.
Yes.
Whether we connect with every episode, I don't think matters in the least. But
I think it's a better overall series than What If, top to bottom.
Yes.
I mean, the finale could put What If over the edge. But
I'm not going to judge What If until I see episode 9.
But right now,
I'm
going to, and it's not entirely because of my Star Wars bias, but the joke that I saw on Twitter that I said last week that I come back to again is. Yeah. I'm so glad Visions is out so I can stop pretending to care about What If. That was what made me laugh and felt very real. I have enjoyed What If, but if I'm putting the two up against each other, I've rewatched the majority of these a third time at this point. I watched them twice last week when they came out. Yeah. And then I started through them again to do this with you guys. And so I do enjoy them. Now, I don't know going forward, am I going to have a lot of times where I go, you know what I want to do? I want to sit down and watch Visions. Yeah. I don't know, where, but I may. I don't know. But there are some parts of those stories. And again, if we get a season 2 and they're going to continue some of these stories, I may want to go back and watch them and go, I want to see the continuation of La Pinocho, so let me watch that one again. Or the Duel. I mean, obviously we've got the Ronin book coming out that's connected to the Duel, so that I'm intrigued by.
Yes,
and we'll get into that at some point and hope to check it out. But yeah, if you're comparing the two, for me personally, aside from being the Star Wars nerd that I am, I do like this more than What If personally.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, and you've got two different opinions here with Roth and Fetmatic in the chat. I mean, he enjoyed What If, but Visions felt like a chore to him. But then you've got Fetmatic coming back. He said, bring on season 2. He loved it.
And I agree with Roth because I watched the Party Thor episode of What If with my kids who are obsessed with Thor and Loki right now. And I couldn't have cared less. Like I spent more time looking at my phone.
It's a weak episode.
Looking at my phone and being like, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be paying attention to this because they want me to watch it." Like
Dad, watch this with us.
Exactly.
It's so cool. He's a party Thor.
Dad, look, it's Thor.
Party Thor.
Yeah, the only reason that episode exists is to set up Ultron and to bring in a Thor character for the final episode. Yeah.
Well, we're having a party.
An even more silly Thor than we're used to.
Yes.
And Thor's
gotten really silly.
Somewhat silly, but
yeah.
All right, so let me ask this question to the panel, if I can slide into the host chair for a minute.
Let's do it.
There's 9 episodes, so it would probably be too cumbersome for us to try and all rank them individually and create an order. So let's do this. Let's do your Mount Rushmore. What would be your 4 out of these 9? That you're going to take away, and we'll put Mikey on the spot first and let him go. Everybody else gets time to think about it.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I think for me, just because potential story, and I really enjoy the story. Let's see, I do 9th Jedi. I would do the Duel. I'm gonna say it. I would do La Pinocho. I really dug it, and then I would also do the Village Bride. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I loved the Village Bride for some reason. So those are my 4.
Okay, Ryfin, what you got?
I'm still writing
I'll go if he's.
Yeah, go ahead, go.
All right,
Earl.
we got Earl.
Because I was thinking about making a list on this. The Ninth Jedi is my number one. I think The Village Bride has moved. I watched that again today, and I really
moves up the more you watch it.
So yeah, it grows on me, and I think that's my number two, and then The Duel, and then I really like The Elder, so I'm going to go with The Elder's number 4.
Gotcha.
I think Earl and I are going to have the exact same. It's going to be a little out of order, but I guess if I had to put them in order,
and for your Mount Rushmore, order doesn't matter.
Order doesn't matter on the Mount Rushmore.
It's Ninth Jedi, Duel, Elder, and Village Bride. Absolutely. So.
No love for Lapinocho, just me, huh?
No, I'm with you. I've got Lapinocho, I've got Village Bride, Ninth Jedi, and The Duel.
We're all pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, I think that
it's a hard choice because I could have thrown TOB1 in there, to be honest. Again, the father kid story hit me, and upon reflection, I like Tatooine Rhapsody more than I did the first time I watched it as well.
Yeah.
It's not as serious, but it's fun, and it also throws some... Okay, here we go. Right.
So here's Roth's. Let's throw this up here.
I like that. And Akakiri, I debated about switching that one.
Oh, so Roth, you dug Akakiri. Okay.
I liked Akakiri too.
Similar. Yeah, I was thinking like if there was
golden bias coming out.
I was thinking like if we added like Obama to the Mount Rushmore, like I'd throw in for my number 5.
I don't
probably the twins.
I don't understand. Are you saying we're adding a 5th head?
Yeah, if we added a 5th head, that being Obama.
What's your plan? Yeah, what's your plan?
That would be Akakiri.
Mine would probably be the twins. I thought that there was some interesting stuff in that.
You know what? I'm gonna be a Tatooine Rhapsody.
Would it be your 5th?
Sure.
Sorry, dude, Roth. I'm sorry. Look.
Yeah, it's hard because Tatooine Rhapsody, the twins, and TOB1 would all have to fight for that 5th spot for me. Like I think there's stuff in each of those. Honestly, my biggest not favorite was Akakiri, the last one. That was the hardest one for me to gravitate to.
I like bits and pieces of every. There's like not one episode that I hated. I like bits and pieces of every episode.
Yeah, I don't hate any of the episodes.
But
no, absolutely. I mean, and I'll go ahead and say this in full disclosure. I did a rewatch last week for the first half that we talked about, and this week I saved that other half. And so today, as I had time, I did watch TOB1, The Elder, and I watched the majority of Lapinocho, but I did not have time before we started to rewatch Akakiri. So that could have had an effect.
It'll change your life.
In deference to Dr. Earl, I will go ahead and say that one's on me.
Change your life. I don't know if it would
change your life.
I don't know if it'll change your life.
Yeah.
Dogs and cats living together.
It was a great series, though.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
I would love to see more stuff like this from even other franchises.
Yeah, I wish What If had taken more chances to do like. I know they're sticking really.
Well, they're still trying to tell a story that might tie into the MCU, though.
Yeah,
see,
I mean,
I wish
Visions has this freedom to do whatever they want to do.
Well, and one of the things I love so much about Visions is the ability to change stylistically so dramatically.
Right.
You know, What If is beautiful for the things that I don't super enjoy about What If. There's been some really great animation and shots and, you know, stuff that's visually appealing, but it's all the same style, same animation team. Yeah. What I love about Visions, and somebody posted this on Twitter, I guess the week that Visions came out, and they kind of posited the idea of what if we could get some other cultural versions of Visions like Star Wars stories, like what if you got Day of the Dead Star Wars, you know, era theme stories, or what if you got, you know, something that fit in some other places that have dynamic visual styles. That could be neat too, because again, you get to apply culture. You know, it's like the Mexican bootlegs and the Swedish ripoff action figures that we got as kids that were weird, but they came.
I mean, and that's interesting that you say that, because that's certainly something Disney embraces, because they've got those Spark shorts that they throw up on Disney Plus from time to time, and those are from different countries. Like there's like one from Africa, I think, and so there's different unique animation styles that they could throw in there and not just limit themselves. Not that it wouldn't be awesome to have another 9 episodes of Japanese style animation.
Yeah, but what if we got some French or Swedish animation? What if we got
totally? I mean,
Dias de los Muertos, you know,
I'd
some
be all
version
in.
of that.
Oh, that'd be so cool. Yeah.
Other, you know,
I would totally
to
be
take
in on that. Yeah, I hope that I think that it would be leaving money on the table in a way if they didn't do a season 2 of this. I know they haven't officially announced it, but I think the fact that they have a tie-in novel, and I think that they are seeing, at least from the small population that's on social media, that small population seems very, thrilled to be getting something like Visions. So hopefully they do it. I'm sure they will. I mean, because what else are they going to do? Why not?
Nick, was it the guy who said this was going to be his last animation, but he said unless they want a sequel, and then I have the option of.
That's right. He kind of hedged, and he said, I'm done. But if Star Wars comes back, I'll come back.
Yeah,
I love that.
As we all would.
Exactly. I love that. Gosh, I mean, 2022 is going to be packed with so much Star Wars. I don't know that there's time for a Visions season 2, but maybe we can have that in 2023.
I'll make room for it. I'm willing to do the work.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying
they've got Star Wars,
gosh, so many Marvel series.
How are they going to? How are they going to get at this all?
I don't know how they're. And what they're trying to do is not have any crossover between the two, when they're releasing. But it's going to be impossible. I mean, I think that there's too much. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But as always,
the extra.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. More of the extra. We need more extra. I really appreciate those of you that were hanging out with us live. It's really fun for us to be able to participate with you guys and throw your stuff up and comment on the stuff that you're doing live. So I always appreciate that. Fetmatic, you're here every week. Roth is here just about every week. I saw Brian stop in this time. Rhett has just been so busy. He's
do this play.
He's got this play coming out that I'm seeing this weekend.
He believes some guy didn't commit suicide.
Mike, when are you seeing it?
I'm seeing it Saturday. I'm seeing it Saturday. Man. Yeah, with you. Yeah, we're going to get. No, I'm not going to bother you. I know you'll be with your girl, so I'm not going to bother you.
I'll be
the night. No, I mean, breaking news: Rhett has signed on to do Little Women also. So,
is he playing the dad?
He is playing the old guy that seduces, the guy that I thought he was.
Is there an old guy?
I thought he was playing like the professor, the teacher.
The one that seduces Joe.
Yeah, the one that seduces. I thought he. The one that seduces.
Yeah,
Joe.
So go see Night of January 16th, guys. That's what you need to see.
Well, if you're in Alabama, if you happen to be in Alabama,
if you want to see some subpar community theater,
some Ayn Rand subpar community theater.
Here's what the joke's going to be on you. The joke's going to be on you when you both show up on Saturday with your tickets, and it's just Rhett on the stage telling that story from the 500th episode 5 times in a row.
Oh my gosh,
which was great.
One man show.
The filibuster that he had. Crazy.
There's a video link posted with him talking today. Did you see that?
Yes. Is that the one where they interviewed him and they asked him what he loved about the theater and he said nothing?
Yeah. He goes, how much do you love the theater? He goes, oh, I don't.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like
something like that.
He's totally like the Office Space. How much work do you try and do in it? Really as minimal as possible.
Wouldn't say I've been missing it, Bob.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. It's very much like that. So anyways, we're going to end it here. Obviously, next week we're going to be talking about the season finale of What If, and we're really looking forward to discussing that because I think it's probably going to be a fun episode. And then the week after, the only thing that we've got to talk about the week after is DC Fandom. There's going to be a lot of cool news that comes out of that. We'll talk about some of the trailers, talk about some of the TV news, because I think they're probably going to announce a couple of HBO Max series.
Probably, and we'll probably get some Peacemaker stuff.
We'll definitely get some Peacemaker stuff. We'll definitely get some Gotham PD. Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, there's a Gotham Police Department show. Yeah.
Yeah, with Jeffrey Wright. So that'll be interesting.
It's taking place in the Matt Reeves universe.
Right. So it's taking place in the Matt Reeves universe.
But it's going to be after the movie or before the movie?
We don't. I think it's before the movie. I think it was year 1 and the movie's year 2.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm looking forward.
They're hearing about the Batman for the first time.
Yeah. anything Jeffrey Wright, I am all in. That dude is a phenomenal actor.
Wait,
so I'm all in on that.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Exactly. Wait, what happened? Anyways, okay, so YouTube, like it, subscribe it, notify it, mash the bell,
it
do it all.
Rate it. That was cool.
Yeah, the rating it was fun too. Hey, I mean, because of episode 500, I will say this. That has obviously the most views that we've ever had on anything, which is phenomenal. It's up to like 72 views, which is huge for us. That's like more subscribers than we have.
You guys didn't get it for that popcorn bucket thing you did,
which is
years ago?
No, we sure didn't. But and it got us 2 new subscribers. So, hey, whatever it takes. Maybe we need to do more 3-hour-long episodes of things. For apparently there's some algorithm in YouTube that draws people to 3-hour episodes of things, which is ridiculous. But there was a lot of crossover in that episode, and it was really fun. So it did help us get a couple new subscribers. But if you guys wouldn't mind sharing this episode, that'd be fantastic. Watcher Garrison, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at SUPASH3. You can find me on Letterboxd at GRyphon. You can find me on the Deucecast Discord. I'm GRyphon3. And that's about it. And
you can find you here every Tuesday night also.
Yeah, of course. If we were on the Deucecast movie show, I might have said that, but
That's true. Very, very true. Dr. Earl, you're still off the grid. You're still
EAR1.
Keep it. Sorry, EAR1. You're keeping it off the grid. But
I'm still trolling Discord every so often.
You're that guy who sort of just watches and never comments. You're the watcher.
He's the watcher.
I'm like the watcher.
You're the watcher of your own pretentious corner, which you never comment in. But that's okay. David never comments.
Pretentious. I just haven't had time.
Yeah, we got to get a rousing discussion of Grey Poupon going on or something.
Exactly. Or we can discuss Rhett's play in the pretentious corner.
Night of January 16th.
Maybe that's where that discussion is going to go.
Night of January 16th.
We'll have to have an extra play, a Deucecast.
I'm gonna like stream it live on the Deucecast YouTube so Roth can watch it, because I know he would love.
There's got to be a film version of that somewhere.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if there is. Nick, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
The majority of social media, you can find me at Wills Pod. If you want to check out Podcast of the Wills, we are available wherever you find the majority of your audio podcasts, favorite podcast platform of choice. If you want to watch the video version, which is live streamed every Sunday night, we are youtube.com/Podcast of the Wills. We are 4 weeks in. We've got 2 weeks left of our canon study series, which is kind of the original format of the podcast. We're working our way through Empire Strikes Back, and basically it's a Bible study, but instead of the Bible, we're using Star Wars as our sacred text. And so this coming weekend, I have Pete Fletzer from Around the Galaxy, and we are talking about parenthood. Obviously, we've reached the point in Empire where there's that pivotal parenting moment that's going to spring itself upon us. So we're going to get into parenthood, not only in that section of the text, but also in Star Wars in general. So we'd love for people to come check it out. Sunday nights at 8:00, or audio version is usually out Monday morning.
I secretly am hoping for a canon studies of Rebels.
There's going to be a canon studies of everything, and you and I have talked about this a little bit already, so don't worry. I've got some more spots for you.
Because Rebels has a lot.
Rebels has a lot to study in that.
Rebels got a lot of good stuff in it.
Apparently I've got to study it.
One last thing, and I forgot to do this last week too. Saturday, November 6th, Podathon. This is the podcast all day live 12-hour podcast stream that me and a bunch of other content creators are doing to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So we're going to start at 9:00 in the morning on Saturday, November 6th. We've got me, we've got Star Wars Explained, we've got Around the Galaxy, Pink Milk, Blue Bantha Milk Company. And if y'all don't know who Blue Bantha Milk Company is, they're doing all of the Star Wars stories written by artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And they do live reads of them. And it's some of the funniest crap you've ever seen in your life.
Hilarious.
They're going to be a part of it. There's 12 creators. Everybody's going to have an hour to do their show or a version of their show. Everybody's working really hard to get big guests, fun guests. There's going to be a raffle. There's going to be giveaways. And the whole thing is to raise money for Make-A-Wish. So on Saturday, Saturday, November the 6th, for 12 hours, stay for the whole thing, pop in for my part, pop in for the other guys. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So we're trying to just kind of pump that up as much as we can.
And what's the Twitter handle for? Is it just
it's at Padathon? I think it's at Padathon 2021.
Yeah, at Padathon 2021. And even if you can't watch, you can actually already go and donate.
Yeah, the link is up. You can go ahead and donate to Make-A-Wish. And it goes directly to Make-A-Wish. It's not to us to give to Make-A-Wish. It's through them. There's a T-shirt link. You can get T-shirts. You can get logos, stickers. There it is. Padathon Community Gives Back. And the stickers and the T-shirts, profits from those also go to Make-A-Wish. It's, once the T-shirt's paid for, the rest goes to Make-A-Wish. So it really is just a bunch of content creators wanting to get together and have a day of fun Star Wars podcasting for a really great cause.
Yeah. And awesome. I mean, the goal is only like $1,500. That's going to be smashed.
They did it last year, and I think they made around 2, and so they set a goal of 1,500. But I think we're going to blow it out of the water this year.
Yeah, I already have a feeling that this year is going to just be destroyed. That goal will be destroyed in a good way.
Yeah. So it's a big honor for me to get to even be a part of it. So now I'm just out shilling everywhere I can to get people to tune in and donate and check it out.
I mean, Make-A-Wish is, that's
got to toe the company line.
That's a great organization.
Yeah, it's a fantastic organization. And I look forward to, and I know you mentioned it, one of your friends, their kid is a Make-A-Wish kid, and I look forward to hearing that story. You said you were going to do an interview.
We're going to actually do an interview this weekend before Podcast of the Wheels. Pete is going to do an interview with my buddy Matthew. His daughter Violet is a Make-A-Wish child. And so we're going to get to kind of apply a personal story that's personal to me and to them and get him to talk about it a little bit and use that as we lead up to Padathon. So I'm excited to share that story as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing that. Well, great. Well, again, I appreciate the 3 of you gentlemen joining the Deucecast Extra. This has been a lot of fun doing all these shows. And man, I mean, the rest of 2021 is going to be slammed, and 2022 will be even crazier. So we're going to keep this fun ship going, and appreciate all the listeners. If you make a comment on here after you watch this later on, I'd be happy to do my best to respond. Other than that, we will be back, like I said, next week for the What If finale. Have a good evening, everybody.